Do you live to work or work to live? In our society, we're constantly chasing that next promotion, validation from social media, and material goods. It's easy to forget why we even work in the first place. You know, there's so much more to life than just work. And this is why I want to retire early, so that I have the freedom to appreciate this beautiful world we live in, spend time with the people I love, and spend time doing the things I love. But how much money do you actually need to retire comfortably without the fear of running out of money? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm planning for an early retirement and how you can too. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Michael Lee Kim, and I'm a personal finance coach, CPA, TEDx speaker, and digital nomad. And my goal is to help you have control over your money and your life. Let's get into it. Okay, so now that we know that we all want to retire early, how do we actually do it? Okay, so all retirement planning essentially is figuring out how much money you need to start saving and investing to last you until the day that you retire, until the day that you roll over. And so there are three main steps when it comes to planning for retirement. The first step is to estimate your expected expenses during retirement, which is how much money are we actually going to be spending during retirement? Is it $1,000? Is it $2,000? Is it more? Well, to figure out how much you expect to spend during retirement is just to take a percent of your current total income. Now, the logic behind this is that you probably want to maintain your current lifestyle during retirement. And that's why we're going to take about 60 to 80% of your total income and use this as your estimated total expenses during retirement. And so as an example, let's say you're currently making $100,000 per year. And let's just use 80% to be conservative. And so 100,000 multiplied by 80% is $80,000 per year. And so this is how much you would be spending during retirement every single year based on these assumptions. And so now we go to the second part of planning for retirement, which is to figure out how much savings do you actually need to cover all of your expenses from the day that you retire until the day that you pass on. And so this number is going to be based on a rule called the 4% rule. The 4% rule states you can safely withdraw up to 4% of your stock investment portfolio over a 30-year time horizon without running out of money, with a 90% success rate. Okay, I know that was a lot. Let's break it down. So you can safely withdraw up to 4% of your stock investment portfolio. What this means is that let's say our stock investment portfolio is $2 million for retirement. We can safely withdraw up to 4% of this portfolio every single year during retirement. And so 4% out of $2 million is $80,000. And based on our previous example, this would mean that we would be able to retire. Now, the second part of the 4% rule is over a 30-year time horizon without running out of money. The time horizon is the day that you retire until the day that you pass on. And so the 4% rule assumes a 30-year time horizon. The last part of the 4% rule is with a 90% success rate. Now, I don't know about you, but a 90% success rate doesn't sound too promising. What if you're in that 10% and you run out of money? No one wants to go back to a job when they're 80 years old. Well, how the study for the 4% rule was done was that they simulated a 4% withdrawal rate based on different time periods. Now, the reason why 10% of the simulations failed was because if you're retiring during a market recession when the market is doing really bad, you're more likely to run out of money during retirement based on the 4% rule. Now, there are many ways in order to reduce this risk, but for the sake of this video and keeping things simple, we're just going to base our calculations off of the 4% rule. But keep in mind, the 4% rule is more of like a guideline rather than a concrete rule. And so take it with a grain of salt. And so if you want to figure out how much money you actually need during retirement, all you need to do is figure out what is your expected annual expenses during retirement divided by the 4% rule. And this is your retirement saving goal. And now we get to the last step when it comes to planning for retirement, which is to create a financial plan. Now you might be thinking, oh my God, saving $2 million for retirement, that's a lot of money. And you're right, it is a lot of money. But if we break it down into small little steps that we can take every single month and year, then this goal becomes a lot more manageable, which is why you need a financial plan. A financial plan is like a GPS that tells you how to get from your point A to your point B, where your point A is your current financial situation and your point B are your financial goals. And now we already figured out what our point B is, which is honestly the hardest part. And so now all we have to do is figure out how much money do we need to start saving every single month and year in order to hit this retirement goal. And so to do this, we can use a simple Excel or Google Sheet formula where we take the average annual rate of return that we can get from investing, which is, let's say on average, 7% per year. Let's say we're in our 20s and we plan to retire at 60. This means we have 40 years to save up for retirement. The present value is 0. Let's just say we're starting from scratch. And then the future value is our $2 million retirement goal. You plug all of these variables in the formula, and boom, bada beam, it tells us exactly how much we need to start saving every single year and month, starting today. $10,000 per year, or about $800 a month. Now, this is a lot more manageable than trying to save up at $2 million all at once, right? And this is the reason why it's so important to start planning for retirement early. Because let's say you were to wait until your 30s to start saving up for retirement. This means you would need to start saving $21,000 every single year and over $1,700 per month. Now that's a big difference from if you were to start in your 20s. And so the sooner you start saving and investing for retirement, you're gonna thank yourself so much later on. Now this simple calculation that we did is just one part of the financial plan. The financial plan is actually really complicated and detailed. That not only tells you how much money to save every single month and year, but it actually tells you how to actually save this money, from calculating your net worth, creating a realistic budget, and also what to actually invest in. Now, obviously, we don't have time today in order to create a customized financial plan for your specific financial situation. But if you would like one, every few months I give out free financial assessments where you have the opportunity to meet with me one-on-one completely for free. I have limited spots and we always sell out. So if you want a spot, then make sure to send in your application. And so if you would like to get a free financial assessment with me, just go to michaeliekim.com/assessment. Oh, and here's a bit of a bonus tip. What I often like to do with my clients, as well as my own financial situation, is that I like to create multiple financial plans. I like to create a vanilla plan and a chocolate plan. And so my vanilla plan is that if everything were to stay the same, my income and my savings rate were to stay the same, I would be able to comfortably retire at the age of 60. But if you're here, you're probably an ambitious young professional who's like, 60? I don't want to retire at 60. And so that's where the chocolate plan comes in. The chocolate plan is when you figure out what is the actual age you want to retire. Let's say it's at 50 years old. And so you're going to create a separate financial plan where you're going to retire at 50. And it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to hit this goal. And so now you have two plans where the worst case scenario is that you are still able to retire at 60. But now you can start working towards your chocolate plan. and start taking actions today to make this your new reality. This is why I love creating financial plans, because it's like flying a plane. Most people don't have a financial plan, and they're flying a plane hoping that they get to their end destination. But when they start to run out of fuel, they try to course correct, but it's already too late. Instead, when you have a financial plan, you can figure out the right direction to start flying today so that you can get to your end destination safely and on time. And a small little change in your direction today will completely change your end destination. In our current society, we idolize work and career achievements. But what if instead we valued living a simple, boring life, spending time with the people we love and doing the things we love? And this is why it's so important to start thinking about your retirement today. Because the sooner we start planning and working towards it, the more options and freedom we'll have in the future. And if you like this video and you want to see more like this, then make sure to like and subscribe so you're notified when I release a new video. Also, if you want to learn how to better manage your own money, but you just don't know where to start, then get started with my free 20-minute training, The Money Skills Audit. Just go to michaelleekim.com/start, and I'll see you in the next one.